Are you waiting for retirement to have a sense of peace? To feel that sense of really living life to its fullest? And you know that there must be something more to life than just waiting for retirement to finally have that sense of peace, right? And yet, here you are, and the mathematic brain that you're using for this journey is something along the lines of hard work and sacrifice equals peace at some point. And if this is you and you're a woman in middle age and you're tired of coming from that perspective and you're feeling like you need to do something different because there's more to life than just waiting for retirement, then hi, my name is Jen. I'm the founder and owner of Laughing Lotus Wellness. I'm a transformational purpose coach and expert. And what I do is work with women just like you. And what I do is help you find clarity around your purpose. That as we age, sometimes we have to repurpose even ourselves and our journeys. We need kind of a fresh take on life, and we have to re examine kind of where we were and where we want to go. And that's what I really love to help my coaching clients do, get in touch with that awareness so that you can go out and create the impact you want to make in the world. And sometimes even that has changed, and you may have lost sight of that. You may have started in one place and you're landing in an entirely different location. So, this is what we're going to be talking about today. As a clinical social worker of over 20 years, I worked with so many people in their mindset. And you're going to hear me talk about that a lot in my coaching when I come in and do my vlogs and my lives, because mindset's such a crucial component of this journey, right? But we're going to talk about a couple of thoughts that I think are powerful, some mathematical tools that I want you to take a look at today. The reason I'm talking about retirement is sort of this line in the sand is many of us that are in middle age are tipping our scales into a different space developmentally. Okay, so this is very psychology 101. So roll with me for a minute. Many of us are coming to a place where we might be close to kind of like maybe nearing 50. I know I just turned 48. So, like, I'm getting there, right? I'm getting there. And so, but I would say that someone that's between like 40 and 60, kind of middle age, right? Somewhere in there. And we're kind of coming to a place where like our lives aren't just in that very industrial piece of the young adult life, right? Where we're just trying to kind of figure out what we want to do, where we're going to go, how we're going to make things happen, how we're going to bring it together, what we're going to do to make money, what our career path is going to look like, whatever. We're kind of beyond that. At this point in our lives, we've kind of got that nailed down or thought we did. And we might have to re-examine it, right? So this is what I love talking about, is helping people make those shifts, because those shifts are really super important. And so what we're going to talk about today is, and I don't know why this landed this way. This is so weird. I was laying out my manifesting my content for the month, and I realized that it was all mathematical equations, which sounds super weird. But I was like, this plus this plus this equals this, right? So I sat down and I was tapping all this out. And today I was talking with a coaching client about a mathematical equation in her life. And we were talking about what she wanted to achieve and how she really wants this deeper sense of kind of being carefree and like just go with the flow. And she's like, but I just really struggle with that. And so we started digging in. And what we really quickly found was that she has ideas that get in the way of her living a carefree life. Okay. So for her, when she started talking about it, I was cracking up because literally by the time she's done talking, I'm like, but in there isn't just positive, it's sacrifice. She's like, yeah, it's not just this like light and airy, breezy, fun idea. She's like, nope, I show up and I do have this belief system that I'm somehow going to have to give something up to have something lovely. This is why I love this work, because then we have to push the pause button and we need to understand where that comes from. We need to understand where that took root in her, because what we have to do is shift that. That's powerful stuff. I know we hear everyone like mindset is such a, like trendy term today, right? All of us talk about it. Here's the truth. It is one of your most powerful tools. And so I am going to be talking about manifesting abundance so much in this month. We talked about abundance last month. This much is about manifesting, right? It's just about creating. That's all manifesting means. You hear that term in all the, kind of like metaphysical communities and all this stuff, right? What the hell does manifesting even mean? It just means you're creating something you want in your life. So if we know that mindset's so important, here's how I think about manifesting abundance. Is intention, plus your belief and your vision. Intention plus belief plus vision equals manifesting. And so those are sort of the things that I think are the mathematical things we need to have in place, kind of tucked in order to create what we really, really want. So what I really have to spend time in is that belief system. You heard me, right? If I've got a coaching client that their goal is to go here, do this thing, make this transition, and they're starting to create a vision, but their belief system is jacked up in some way and it's stuck back in an archaic way of thinking, an old story, the way we've been conditioned. We have to shake that loose, because as long as we're trying to create something powerful and new, if we're going to stumble over this same idea time and time and time again, we're going to really struggle to get her where she wants to go. And so it was interesting. She was talking about this, like, we were talking, here's my analogy. I'm going to lay my analogy. Hopefully this lands well. I had this vision, right? So for this woman in particular that I'm thinking of, she's in corporate America, high level corporate America. And I said, here's what came to mind. Like a triathlon. Have you ever seen a triathlon? So has anybody in here ever seen a triathlon? Have you ever been in one or watched one? They're fascinating. Here's the part that freaks me out a little bit, right? So if anybody's ever watched, all these people are on the beach. So let's just say we're doing it at a lake. Okay, this is the one I watched. My husband was doing the race with a friend. And the buzzer goes, and all these people at one time go like wildly running into this water. Elbows are flying, feet are flying, people are taking up space. There's big waves around everybody because there's so much chaos. And what I said to this woman was, you are so accustomed to being in the energy of chaos. And it isn't malicious. It isn't necessarily even a bad thing, but just think about the energy of working in corporate America. It isn't some chill, relax, lay back. Most of it isn't. Some of it is. But you get my drift. If you're working at a high level corporation, likely is there's all the meetings and all the things and all the energy is to do and make money. And so you're constantly in that energy, constantly kind of barraged by it, right? So I want you to imagine if I'm constantly in that, but then in my personal life, I'd like to create something different, right? That's going to be really hard. And so I said to her, imagine what would happen if in this triathlon, instead of going into the water, right, and feet flying, kicking people in the face, this happens, no lie, accidental. Instead of doing that, you went and you got still. What would happen? Now, here's what everyone just went, how's somebody going to get a good spot? How are they going to win the race? Right? So then I fast forwarded for her and I said, here's the thing that I went. So I went to the end of the line to watch everybody crossing the finish line. Now, that person, that woman that might stop mid-lake, take a breath, take a breather, sit back, chill out for a minute, let everybody do their madness, and then start doing their thing, right? Okay. She might not be first. She might be, actually. Just saying. Sometimes it is my belief system that slowing down and pausing is actually more powerful than the doing, which I just know makes our entire culture swoon. Okay. But I said, I'm watching the end of this race, right? Crying. I'm crying watching the end of these aren't even people I know. I want you to understand. I know exactly two people in this entire race. And I'm crying watching these people cross the finish line. They're crying. I'm crying. Their family, friends they're crying. We're all crying. And it's such a powerful thing to watch them achieve something they worked so hard for. Now I got news for you. Those people weren't first. Those people were not in first place. Those people might have been 2,325. They might have been 5,111, right? They were still, so many of them, the joy on their face was in the completing of the task. Somewhere along the line, maybe they realize like it's just good enough. It's just magical enough to cross the freaking finish line. I don't have to be first to do something incredible in my life. And there's something about that energy. It's so celebratory at the end of that finish line. It's so celebratory. And so there's this just overwhelming emotion watching these people finish this race. And so that woman that's in the swim, right? All the arms, all the things flying, right? And she just stops for a minute and takes a breath while all that chaos dies down. And there's something in the stillness that's so powerful. Hi, KJ. That's so powerful. We forget we can choose to do life that way. Because if the energy around us in that lake is churned up and all the enthusiasm and oh my God, and the thing just went off and I have to go and I have to race and I have to do all the things, it's our culture. It is literally synonymous with our culture. Got to do the things, got to get first place, got to be the place, got to do the thing, got to, we got to achieve, got to get first place and do this big thing and got to make a place for myself, got to do this thing. And we don't really pause and look at what that costs us. There's a mathematical cost to always going at life that way, to always pressing in and like feeling like we have to like cross the finish line first or be in the top 300 or right. I have a brother-in-law who's a major runner. Like he's done Boston marathons, done a lot of marathons in his life, right? There's times where they are at his best times and other times where it's not. We just don't know how to slow down. We just don't give ourselves permission to be in the stillness. And yet we'll look at our lives and go, I'd like to be more carefree. I'd like to be more at peace. I'd like to have more joy. I'd like to find contentment. And the only energy we're ever almost always steeped in is high level having to achieve doing this. So I had to back her up. We had to take a look at this. What are your belief systems about what you're wanting to create? If you want a carefree life, what does that entail? What will you need to alter? Because if the energy is always doing, if it's always rushing, if it's always creating the next thing and money or whatever it is the drive is, right? Corporations commonly money, right? Stuff. Okay. So she's got the intention, she's got the vision, but a piece of the belief system needs to be refined. And the reality of it, and this is what I kept finding myself saying to her, she was probably like, it's such a human thing. And the reason I say that is because as we do this work and unravel our stories, we're going to bump into a lot of human stuff. Psychology 101. And so to give yourself grace is one of the most powerful things you can do in this journey is rather than beating yourself up, like, why do I think this way? Why can't I just relax and release? Why do I feel like I have to grip and hold and make things happen? And I can't just relax and I can't release. And I don't know what it's like to live a life where it's not always this, I've got to make it through the finish line first. The only way that what I do matters is if I finish first. That is such BS. It's such an incredible amount of BS. There is not something that can be further from the truth. You don't have to be first to be doing something magical. I'm not a great swimmer. I'm going to be honest. So if I was in a triathlon, this would be my modality. I would either hear the horn, I'd have the same inclination, trust me, right? I have a competitive spirit somewhere in there. You got me nailed down, right? But I'm going to tell you what, I'm probably going to stand there. And all the people are going to be like, what's that woman doing? Or I might get in the water and I might hang out a minute. I don't need an elbow to the eye or the rib or a kick to the face or the teeth to know that if I'm doing something that's so challenging, that the success is in the finishing it at all. Right? This is mindset. Can I just give myself the grace to understand that sometimes it's the finishing in any capacity that's so powerful in my own way? Maybe that means walking some of the time instead of running in my triathlon, right? Maybe I get blisters on my feet from biking and so I've got to kind of take it easy or whatever. And this is just a great analogy as we were talking today about this idea. So if your idea is, listen to this, righty? I mean, this is the idea. Hard work and sacrifice equals peace. Retirement? When I ask someone and they say, yeah, I just feel like in retirement, it'll be good. Yeah, I save all my money for a rainy day. It'll be good later. Whew. It is a dicey mathematical game you're playing. Because the reality is, and I am not trying to be grim here. I am not trying to be like, right, a naysayer. I hope we all live till 105 or better. But the truth is that things happen. And so sometimes that piece that we're waiting for, that mathematical equation we've got, right? Chewing through life, doing the things, right? Living our big businesses and our corporate journeys. Yeah, I'll sleep when I'm dead, right? What if you don't get there? What if you're a married person or you're in a deep relationship? What if your person doesn't get there? What happens when life throws a wrench? And it will, because it's just life. It's not an unkindness. It's not God throwing lightning bolts at you. It just life will happen. Regret. And or I get to retirement, I don't know how to relax. I don't even know what that looks like. I have spent so much time only creating that the only link I have for my worthiness is in the doing and the making of something stuff. Wow. Right? Wow. So, what I'm saying is this: what I wish for you is peace, contentment, joy on a great day, celebration, and just understanding that we don't want to wait to have the life we want to be living. We want to be doing it now. And so, in all of my going to sound like a spiritual guru stand at the top of the mountain, forgive me for saying this, but you only have this minute. So, that's the way I come at my work with someone. So I just want you to take a look today. What I want you to do is take a look at your mathematical equation you're working with. Does it sound and look like hard work and sacrifice equals peace, money, and retirement? Hard work and endurance equals what I want at the end. Or can you find a way to be in a different state where your intention and your vision combine with a mindset that is full of being in the present moment and finding those things here and now? That's fully living to me. One of my values that you would see a foundational value of mine, I got many. I have many. Liberation, freedom, those are some big ones. Yes, love, compassion, kindness, all the things, fun, joy, laughter, all those things, right? But I'm just going to say, this is really a thing I want you to think about. It's a foundational value of mine that we embrace what we've got while we've got it. Do I also get stuck in this mindset, the rat race, the hamster wheel? Absolutely. I don't know if I know a person who doesn't get caught in this. So I want to normalize that. And I just want to say, if I'm only living my every single day for later, I have no illusion that later may never come. I had a pretty significant trauma around 17 that taught me that is a lie. And known some people that have really regretted their journeys. And so I have witnessed firsthand what that looks like and feels like. And I very early in my life intentionally decided I didn't want to come from that space. At 40, when I was dragging myself out of bed every day to go to a job I literally hated, it was time to re examine. In midlife, we're going through different places and stages of our lives that don't look anything like young adulthood. And have we made that connection? I'm not picking on anyone. It took me to be about 45 before I really started like, this is just wholly different, right? Than like young adulthood. It just is. I'm sorry. The stages are so completely different, and we need to be talking about that. So in midlife, what was supposed to sustain me as an idea from my young adulthood didn't sustain me at all. And then as a middle-aged person, we go, wait a minute, but this was the map of life. Has anybody done this? Oh, wait, but this was my map of life. Like, I did all the things right. I checked all the boxes, right? I got a home, I got a partner, I got some kids, I got my car, I got my house, I got right. I did all the things. What do you mean it doesn't just equal pure glorious joy? Do you hear my dripping sarcasm? And so what we want to do is invite in a different lens for middle age. We want to give ourselves permission to understand that things will not look or feel the same as they did when we were 20, 25, 30, even 35. That as life transitions and we grow and develop, our awareness shifts, our transformation shifts, everything about us shifts. And now I'm in a whole different mind space. I'm in a whole different life space. And I need to accommodate that difference in myself. I am not who I was at 25. Jokingly, and we know this is true. So, just by the way, scientifically, every 7 years, all of your cells in your body repopulate. So if you think about it in a weird way, every 7 years, you're completely renewed. How cool is that? Right? So I want you to think about your life. Have you renewed yourself every 7 years? Did you give yourself permission to look at that? Have I renewed my soul? Have I looked at where I'm at? If I'm a new person every 7 years, what is that person looking like? And does that 7 year, 14, 21, right? If we start doing the math, does that person want the same thing that the one that was, at 7 wanted? Of course not. Of course not. Of course I hope you don't. I hope you don't want the same thing. I hope you got to 14, 21, right? On, and you went, whoa, I am so different. This is so different. My life has changed so much. I now have different values. Stuff has shifted a bit on its axis as I went. And sometimes it did it while I was sleeping and I just didn't notice it. And now it's time to like, oh, okay, wake up. Okay, I got it. I got to look at this again. I have to reconfigure. And so I just want to leave you with that thought. If I'm speaking to you today and you hear the sound of my voice, well, maybe you could hear it 10 days from now, 20 years from now, I don't know, whatever. And your mathematical equation is that you've got to work hard, sacrifice, give up your time, give up your juice, give up all your stuff, because someday it's going to be good. I want you to stop what you're doing. I want you to reevaluate in this moment. I want you to know that when you're wishing away your time for another moment somewhere in the hypothetical future, that's all of a sudden going to just be awesome. I'll just be at peace then when I'm 80. Okay? Stop. Pause. Give yourself permission to take a different look. Give yourself permission to stand in the 7 year cycle you're actually in. I'm almost to my 7th cycle. Think about that, right? In a year. And that 21-year-old and that 49-year-old, they are on wholly different planes of being. And thank God, because life has taught me. I have learned, I have grown, I have changed. I have family in different circumstances. I've got a daughter who's going to college. Things are very, very different, right, than 21. Thank God. And what we want to do is just reflect. Where am I? Is this what I want? Is this enough? Have you checked all the boxes and you got there and went, this isn't what I thought it was going to be? I thought there would be more. More peace, more money, more time, more connection. I'm doing an abundance challenge coming up, and I'm going to talk about that in just a second as we close. And one of the questions I'm asking people as they come in is, what do you want to manifest? And one of my first members said, I don't know. And that's okay. I mean, you don't have to know, but get on it. Get on it. Time is ticking. And I want for my clients to be able to live in the moment with so much connection, contentment, awareness that they're not hoping for another day. They're not waiting for 10 years to do the stuff that's on their heart. They're not waiting for 15 years to take care of this or do that thing. They're literally living what they want to be living now because that's what we've got to work with. And now don't get me wrong, I make goals. I make goals. I make goals for myself. I make goals with my clients. I suggest that they do that, but not so that they lose sight of what is in the moment, which is the richest, most beautiful thing that we have. So I can wait to be happy in 5 or 10 years when whatever box I think I need to check. If we haven't figured that out by now, right? Okay. 48. That's a lie. Checking boxes does not equal joy. There's another mathematical equation for you. Maybe you thought it did. It doesn't. Yep. Map of life plus checking boxes equals joy. Ask some people around you how that's gone. I hear people all the time, all the time. That didn't work for me. Nope. Doesn't work for anybody because it's not really the goal or the mathematical equation we want to be living into. So we have to reconfigure. At each stage of our lives, we're reconfiguring. And this is a great time in midlife to take a look at where are you? Is it satisfying? What do you want to do to have something different? How can you have a sense of contentment in your life today? Not 6 years from now, not 10 years from now, not when you retire. Because we can't plan on any of that. We can make plans, we can have plans, that's okay, but we can't plan on it. We're going to just sort of go, okay, I know that I want to be thoughtful and mindful about it. That's great. And I also know today is the only day I can count on. Right? I mean, really, truly, this is the situation for all of us. And so I'm inviting you into a different mindset about creating what you want in your life and not making that the deadline of retirement. Your life is worth so much more than that story. And maybe even the one that you don't necessarily get to the way that you have in your head right now, right? Give yourself permission to show up authentically to that. So, this is kind of a heavy conversation for where I was going to go today, but it was really appropriate given what came across my desk, which is always kind of I love having those circumstances where then I get to just dive in and really like hone in on something that is really pertinent for my clients that they're experiencing and hearing and seeing and feeling and going through and trying to work it out. And I sent my client off with some homework today to be thinking about, some of these pieces like, wow, okay, ooh, we got ideas of what that looks like. We got ideas about what joy means. And sort of it comes with stuff. So we have to unravel that. So I want you to go and work that out. Come back around next time. We're going to dive back into that. We're going to make sense of this because what I want is a clearer human at the end of the journey. Sometimes it sucks. Clarity sometimes sucks. I would be lying if I said otherwise, right? Because sometimes it means we go, oh, I didn't even know I had something attached to that. That happens all the time. It's true. And it's true of all of us, right? And so that's the work I love doing because once we kind of work that out, it's like a pressure cooker. There's like this huge release, like, okay, whew, okay, I made sense of that. I got a plan. I can figure this out. I'm going to kind of start working in this moment on this thing in this way. Right? That's power. That's transformation. So listen, if you are a person who's listened to this journey and you would like to work more in a state of being able to create what you want, right? Abundance. I would love to have you come join us. We are doing a Manifesting Abundance Masterclass in September. We're starting just shortly, like 11 days from now, which is crazy to think about because it's been planned for some time. I am going to be hosting that beautiful group. It's going to be 40 days. And it's not a lot of time and energy. So before someone spoons, because I said 40 days, I know in our culture, we're like 40 days of my life. Oh my God, right? It's not 40 days that you're going to be doing stuff all day, every day. It's just a little bit of your time each and every day. I walk you through what that looks like. I have all kinds of videos. I've got a workbook with some handouts to support the journey. We've picked out a small book we're going to be utilizing just as a structure. There's so much content going into this. And I'm so super excited about bringing that into community because it's an experience I myself had. And I know the profound change that happened for me by doing this, which is why I'm offering it. It's $0. Your investment is $0. And so I'm just telling you, there's no reason not to try stepping into this skill of manifesting abundance in the way that you want in your life. So one of the first things we're going to be talking about is what kind of abundance do you want? So for my client who was like, I don't know what kind of abundance I want, I'm like, that's going to be the first thing we got to figure out. Abundance and wealth don't just equal money. So we're going to be talking and dissecting a lot of that in the community, which is what's going to be really fun. And so I'm just going to load you up with all of this available resource to take this journey. I'll be guiding you on Monday mornings in meditation. There's actually quite a few. I did not realize when I did 4 days, I'm like, that's like 6 or 7 meditations. It's a lot. And so I'm like, but I love it. So I'm totally here for it. So I'm going to show up with perhaps my jammies and tea, but that's fine. You can join me with your camera off if you want to come and just be in your pajamas. You don't have to be all dressed up to come join us for meditation, but it's going to be a really beautiful journey. And so if you yourself or someone that you know or a client could use some support in tapping into this resource that you have within you to define and create abundance on your own terms, to reconfigure. This is a beautiful time and energy to reconfigure from moving from summer to fall. We've got a lot of energy and transition in that. And so things are going to start to come into a space of harvesting and slowing down a little bit here. It's still got a little ways to go, but we're getting there. So there's different energy that we get to use in the season. So this is a really beautiful time to start developing a new mindset and habit before you head into the holidays. And what would it be like for you to head into the holidays with a different mindset about abundance, right? That would be so powerful. So I've just been working on the workbook all day. I was actually late to get on today because I was in the middle of tapping out some of my stuff for the workbook, and I'm so excited and like in the zone on it. So I just want to invite you to come and join us and share out this resource. I will put the link in bios and things like that, so you can find me, or you can go to laughinglotuswellness.com/abundance. Again, that's laughinglotuswellness.com/abundance, and right there is the sign up. Super, super easy. We are getting there, that if you want to join and still be able to get that book before we start, you can still get it once we start. So you don't even have to have it. I'm going to provide you the resources that you would need, that if you want to have the book and start reading, I do recommend kind of getting on the horn so that you have access to that and don't feel rushed. But otherwise, you can join us and you don't even have to have the book. It is literally a standalone experience. I just recommend the book because I think it's helpful, but it's not necessary. So I would love for you to come and join us. Keep having these conversations, right? About what does it mean to manifest? What does it mean to show up and want abundance in my life? And how do I do that? And what is abundance? What kind of abundance am I even calling into my life? What does that mean? Right? And what are the mathematics behind the skill of creating these things in our lives? Right? So again, today we're just starting with intention and vision and belief equals manifesting. So those are some of the tools and skills that I think that you have to bring in order to be manifesting the things that you want in your life. So come show up, hang out with us on Monday mornings. We'll probably be in there. I'd say 15 minutes is going to be meditation time. And then I would say after that, people can stay in community for a little bit. I'll stay online, answer and take questions, things like that, which I love doing. So I'm super excited about that. And then it's just going to be a little bit of a daily practice that I'll walk you through. So it's so easy. It's such a small amount of time. Trust me when I say, I know y'all are busy. So creating a big, long practice that I expect you to do every single day is not reasonable. So I wanted to make this accessible to everyone who's interested in starting this journey. Yes, if you know me, you know I am a yogi. Love meditation. Meditation is my favorite thing to teach. I'm an energy worker. I have all these different things. And I was in the field of psychology for over 20 years. So I've got kind of all the parts. And that's really what I love to coach into, is using all of those layers. So that's what we're going to be bringing to this journey. And it is, I'm serious. I'm so excited about it. Like, I can't wait to get my hands on everybody. We've got a private Facebook community. Tomorrow, I'm probably going to start loading people into that. So I just wanted to get my content in there, so it was all nice and beautiful, and people came in and they had access to all the files and the tools and blah, blah, blah. So we're going to start there. So I'm super excited. And so tomorrow's the day we get to start adding people into that Facebook community that's private just for us, and start really growing this new skill. And so I just want to invite you in if you're interested. Again, laughinglotuswellness.com/abundance. abundance. Come and join us, and feel free to bring a friend, share this out. This is always more powerful with someone that you love and know. Honestly, it's just like having a buddy. And so having some accountability buddies is really powerful. Community is one of my very favorite resources I love talking about, and I'm going to be talking about it in here. And so I'm just going to tell you, grab yourself a buddy, bring your buddy in, tag each other out, tag each other in posts. Hey, have you done your journaling today? Hey, have you done da 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 da? Hey, how's that going? Hey, so-and-so had a great idea. This is where things really elevate for us, because we don't live in a vacuum, right? We live with others. And so it's really one of the most powerful tools we have at our fingertips, is to engage in community to grow ourselves. And that's why this is happening in a community forum. Otherwise, I could just sell y'all a workbook and be like, best wishes, namaste, hope that goes well, right? No, I wanted you to have, one, a person to connect to, and two, I wanted you to have access to all these other people's wisdom and their experiences. So come on in and celebrate abundance with us. I cannot wait to see you there. And we will be starting that on Monday, September 12th. So that is like quickly approaching. So I have got more things to do to get ready for that. So I'm going to let you guys do your day, and I'm going to do mine. But until next time, my friends, I just want to wish you blessings, love, and light on your journey. This is Jen supporting you on your rise on your path to purpose. Take care until next time.